that are engaged, so they're compound piers.
Oh, they call it piers.
Right? A column made out of lots of little columns is that compound pier. And all those lines drag you up.
Yeah.
Is they Corinthian? Crockett's. Yeah. I like it. We are no longer limited to the orders of Greek architecture. There were three types of capital, right? Corinthian had the Acacius plan, the Ionic with the scrolls. These are kind of some variation of that, but with lots of crockets and ornate little arabesques and little plant-like forms. And then those take you up again. And then this is a perfectly clear example of a groin vault, right? Where two pointed arches meet. Oh, I remembered it. And you can see the support, right? So this will be the structural element, and then this is all filled in. And that's how they got so high, is they had a very heavy structure, and then they put spread like a skin between. Okay? I call this the more Lutheran of the two churches we'll look at today. It's all white, cream colored, it's pretty sparse. We do have the stages of the cross all the way around, you expect to see in a Catholic church. But when we get to Petersburg, you're going to see a very Reformation style, Baroque, over the top, ornate church. This is much more reserved. It's white, it's clean, it's calm. But the structure is very, very Gothic. If you look here, you can see the pipe organ that's built into the building. Our organ, our chapel is on wheels, and they can unplug it and move it. That is not going anywhere. And if you needed to get it fixed, you have to bring somebody here to fix it. Then it comes to the tabernacle.
Yeah, that's a organ.
And this is where we didn't see before. We didn't have any examples. This is a crocket. This is what I'm talking about. These little flourishes all on the straight edges. Here are the finials. The finials have crockets on them, right? So the idea is this visually overstimulating kind of activity. And let's think about this again. How many altars are there?
1,
3, 4, 5. Okay, if this was a pilgrimage church, we'd have an altar, and each altar would have a relic in it, all the way along, right? So you come up the sides, and you can pray to each of the individual relics. I noticed this for the first time in church on Sunday. There are little locked doors. There are little covers on the front of each of these. This one's not locked. Right? There's little doors. What's behind this door? The host. The biggest relic, right? The host, when you have transubstantiation and whatnot, if you're a believer, when you bless that, it's the body and blood of Christ. That's a pretty big relic. It becomes a relic. It becomes important that way. Let me think. Anything else about this? We're doing the fast version so we get back. Any questions about anything? You could hear a pin drop in here. Yeah.
So I talk about the German wood part.
That's what I was going to talk about next. If this was in Italy, what would this be made out of, do you think?
gold.
No, marble.
Marble. There we go. Yeah, if we were in Italy, land of Michelangelo, this would be carved out of Carrara marble. The tabernacle at the church I was in Massachusetts was all Italian marble, all hand carved. The Germans have a long tradition of being wood carvers. Really, 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 really good wood carvers. Okay? So these were artisans brought over here to do this. Just like we saw in exchange, right? We would, in the medieval Germanic times, Germanic kings would hire metalsmiths from all over to come to their kingdom and do something for them, or the builders to come to their kingdom and do something for them. Or during the medieval time, the traveling artisans would go around. This is a prime example of that kind of Gothic tabernacle with just insane amounts of handwork, all hand carved. So there's that kind of religious fervor, that attention to detail, that attention to carving. You got all the gilding. And that's about it. What is this right here? What's the blue part? There, that's it. The apse. Here's a vaulted apse. Okay, so it's a half dome on the end. There's the head of Christ. Here's the triumphal arch. Up and down. Okay, but I think this gives you a really good sense of what the architecture is talking about. If you look at these windows, huge panes of windows. This is a transept window on either side. So those would have major biblical stories. They're not the most important story. All the focus is up here. And this story is all about Jesus, crucifixion, resurrection, and sacrifice, right? But these would be equally important stories, possibly stories related to the saint and the church was named after. Mary is usually a pretty good subject matter for a side transept. And that's it.
Okay.
I love this space. I want you to just take it in for a second. How does it feel in here?
Small.
Cold just like our chapel.
Cold just like our chapel. Like that. It's very bright in here.
They have bigger window than us.
I think, yeah, you've got tiny windows. Light is a very important part of your chapel, but these are much bigger, and it's very bright in here. Just